South Africa's democracy boasts a wide range of political parties and independent candidates for voters to choose from. In 2024, there were 381 political parties registered with the IEC at the national level. In a thriving democracy, this large variety of political parties and candidates creates an environment for political contestation that is meant to be healthy. It also speaks to our constitutional founding values of a multi-party system of democratic government that ensures accountability, responsiveness, and openness. However, what happens when political contestation takes a bad turn? What happens when elections lead to violence and intimidation? And how do we prevent this? To understand this, we first need to unpack the meaning of election violence and intimidation. Election violence is a type of political violence directly aimed at influencing the electoral process and its outcome. Such violence could target voters, political candidates, or even the Independent Electoral Commission. Similarly, intimidation is the use of threats, harassment, or coercion to influence the political actions or decisions of citizens participating in an election, be they voters or political parties and candidates. Both election violence and intimidation can include verbal threats, physical violence, destruction of property, and other forms of pressure that instill fear and disrupt political participation. Such politically motivated actions can occur before, during, and even after elections. They can be initiated by political actors, by political parties, candidates, and supporters alike. To deal with election violence and intimidation in South Africa, the IEC uses the Electoral Code of Conduct, which aims to promote democratic political activity, open public debate, and free political campaigning. Similarly, the IEC relies on the South African Constitution, which guarantees political rights, including rights to freedom of opinion, expression, association, and to participate in activities of any political party. Before each election, all political party leaders sign a pledge before the IEC, committing themselves, their parties, their candidates, and their supporters to abiding by the Electoral Code of Conduct. The code makes clear what behaviors will not be tolerated from political parties and their candidates. These banned behaviors include using language which provokes violence, intimidating other candidates or voters, destroying, removing, or defacing the posters of other political parties, and carrying arms or weapons at political meetings, marches, or rallies. Political parties are also prohibited from forcing anyone to register to vote or not to vote in an election, to support or not to support a political party or candidate, to vote or not to vote for a political party or candidate, or to attend or not attend a political event or rally. Political parties that breach the code can be fined up to 200,000 rand, lose their election deposit, be stopped from working in an area, or lose their party registration. Political parties and candidates can also hold each other accountable and work together to prevent election violence and intimidation. This is made possible through the Electoral Code of Conduct, which also makes provision for political parties and candidates to speak out against political violence and threats against other parties, the IEC, the public, and the media. The code also states that political parties and candidates must cooperate with the police in investigating election crime and violence and accept the election results or challenge them in court. It is not only the responsibility of political parties and candidates to ensure that election violence and intimidation are prevented. If you suspect that a political party or candidate has breached the Electoral Code of Conduct, you can report this directly to the Secretary of the Electoral Court, your nearest police station, or any IEC office around the country. The contact details of the Secretary of the Electoral Court can be found on the IEC's website. Remember, You have the power to help ensure that elections are truly free and fair, with no violence or intimidation from parties or candidates.